Up next, we're back at Universal Orlando Resort, and it feels great.
Okay, so we are back from our trip to Universal, and we thought we would give you a couple of thoughts about our trip and some of the things we went through.
Yeah, just some of our feelings, experiences, because this was, the trip is going to be different, for those of you that go back at this time, but, I was very pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So we'll go ahead and start out like at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed at Sapphire Falls, and I'm sure that all the hotels are doing the same thing that Sapphire Falls is doing.
Yeah, actually at the time we went down, Portofino Bay had not opened yet.
Neither has Dockside.
Dockside, right. So, but, things could change very soon. So if you guys are interested in staying in those resorts, just check Universal's website for that.
Mm-hmm. So the first thing you see when you walk in through the doors is a temperature check.
Mm-hmm.
Right away, they do a temperature check, and they put they give you a wristband that you put on your wrist, of course, and you are required to wear that. And that sort of proves that you have had your daily temperature check.
So each day you enter the hotel, you are going to receive a different colored wristband as well as a temperature check.
Mm-hmm.
There are security guards at every entrance and exit.
Yeah.
So, just be aware of that.
Yeah. And even if you're going to stay at the resort that day, you're probably going to be required to do that temperature check.
Right, if you enter or exit the resort.
Yeah. You are required to wear a mask even around the resort. If you leave your room for any reason, you need to have that mask and have it ready.
Right, if you want to walk down for your morning coffee, be sure to be wearing that mask because it is required.
Mm-hmm.
You'll also notice in the resort that you will have no housekeeping. The housekeeping is very limited. So with that said, if you need fresh towels, you can certainly call down to the front lobby, tell them how many you want, shampoos, coffee, whatever. We actually were told to leave our towels outside our room, our dirty towels. The fresh towels were brought up with a door knock, and they were in a plastic bag, along with any shampoos or coffees or anything like that you need. So,
and they usually responded pretty quick.
Oh, they did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were right there probably within about 20 minutes.
Another thing is the pool area. Going to and from the pool, you need to wear your mask.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get seated, you can take your mask off, and of course when you go to the pool you can, you don't have to wear it then. Your chairs are spaced out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not requiring like you can get your group together.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as your group's together, you're fine. But social distancing is, in place at Universal.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess the next thing along the way are the boats. Mm-hmm. Over to, we stayed at Sapphire Falls, so we had boat transportation.
The boat launch.
We didn't ride the buses, so we can't comment on the bus situation, how they did the social distancing for that, because, Cabana Bay and Aventura and Surfside all have bus transportation to the park, but we had boat transportation. So what they do is they kind of ask you as you're going in how many you have in your party, and sometimes it was even they would tell you like where to sit. we had a big group, so they would tell us to sit all along the back.
Sit in the back.
The back seat.
I really noticed them directing the captains of the boats. They would pretty much direct people where to sit.
Yeah. And they would skip seats up, so there was plenty of distancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boats were not overcrowded. Wear your mask on the boat.
Keep in mind they have limited boat transportation at this time, so the waits are longer than usual. They seem to only have one to two boats running per resort, so your wait times are going to be longer. And plus, with the social distancing on the boats, expect longer wait times. We took alternative ways back to the resort. I actually walked. Kathy took one of the rickshaw bikes back. So just, keep that in mind as far as the resort you stay. If you're okay with walking, if you're okay with taking a bus, that's fine. But that's kind of the situation with the boats right now.
Yeah. Okay, with the parks themselves, we did not come through the hub, so we don't know firsthand. I've seen plenty of videos on the procedure there at the hub. That
they're having temperature checks, etc., at the hub.
Right.
But since we got off of the boat, we were right at the parks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and through the turnstile, there's no more fingerprint. Actually, it was our pass and our photo ID.
So make sure you do bring a photo ID because that is required now.
Yeah.
To get into the parks, along with if you have an annual pass or tickets.
Right. Other than that, it was seamless. I mean, getting into the park, it was just, in fact, I think I like that way better. It seems like it was a lot quicker.
But you are required to wear a mask in the parks at all times.
Yes.
Universal has set aside some rest areas that you can take a rest, take a break. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was thinking, and we were down there like during one of the...
It was upwards of 95 degrees.
Yeah, major heat wave they were having.
Degrees.
So it was like extremely hot, but still with the mask on. And I'm sure it depends on what type of mask you buy, but I really wasn't bothered by it that much. And plus, we took a lot of the breaks at the Universal rest areas there. They have several set aside.
Yeah, they have the U-rest areas, and I think they even put in a couple more after we left. So there's plenty of areas just to sit down and take a rest. I do recommend that in the heat and the mask.
Be sure you take plenty of breaks, and actually on this stay, we actually went back to the resort during midday, took a little swim, and then went back that evening. So that was pretty nice, and it was pretty welcomed, considering how hot it was, at the resort that day.
Right.
So.
Well, we did ride some water rides, and we'll tell you about that. You keep your mask on until you are seated. And then when you're seated, they tell you can take your mask off because you don't want to get it wet.
But take extra masks. Take some Ziploc bags because my mask got soaked.
Yeah.
I put it in my pocket because usually I don't get wet or that wet on Ripsaw or Popeyes. But
oh my gosh,
I got drenched this time. I really did.
We rode it twice.
So you never know. With that. So take a couple extra masks with you.
And I suggest several different kinds. If you're not used to wearing them a whole lot yet, I suggest several different kinds so you can get a judge of which kind you like. Because you might think just, I kind of like this for, going in the grocery
cool
store.
Or some people are like, these look really cool, or fashionable, but believe me, you want to go for comfort. What feels good on you. And I would suggest wearing it before you go on your trip, just to see how that mask is going to be. Wear the different masks,
or even take a walk in your neighborhood or something like that with it on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good conditioning. There was plenty of social distancing. There was markers on the floors to show you, how far you should be spaced out. And I saw that even like in City Walk at Voodoo Donuts, they had them. So that's, all over the place. The restaurants are doing what they can, distancing you in the restaurant, skipping tables. There again, you wear your mask in, and once you get seated, then you can take your mask off.
Right. And I was pretty well impressed with everybody abiding by the social distancing and the mask wearing. I mean, it was very rare that I would see somebody just walking around without a mask. I can't even recall that. But some people would be walking around with a soda or like eating a hot dog, you know, while they were walking, and naturally they had their mask around their chin, you know, which that's, you know, fine as long as you're drinking or eating. If we did that, we would just go off to an area, you know, where there was nobody and kind of hang out in the shade for a little bit, take a break, you know, enjoy our food and drink, you know, without wearing the mask, and then put it back on once we were finished and, you know, continuing our day at the park.
Right, right. Okay, we did actually have the opportunity while we were there. It was still in technical rehearsals.
Which was really cool.
But we got to watch the Bourne Spectacular, and it was awesome. I was really impressed.
And I'm not a show person, but I mean,
even he liked it.
I was very impressed because, yeah, normally, you know, when they want to go see a show, I'm going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to go over here and jump on this coaster. But I'm very happy that we experienced this. And plus, they had like a, you know, some things didn't go right, so they had to start over, you know, and that was awesome. You know, just kind of, because we kind of got like a little behind the scenes look, you know, at like, if something technically does not go right, because they were under technical rehearsals, you know, still, and they told us that that would probably happen, and it did, and that was, you know, that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But the show itself was just, I mean, it was totally amazing. You know, I would highly recommend it. You know,
and it's probably something I'll go see every time, even if he doesn't want to. I'll probably go see it every time.
But as far as the seating, when we actually entered into the auditorium, is what I'm going to call it, that section, we were asked how many was in our group. We had a group of 6, so we were sat down. There was no one sitting in the row in front of us. There was no one sitting in the row behind of us, and then they would skip 3 chairs between each group. So you were spaced that way.
Right. So there was nobody like right in front of us. You know, we're all, even the row in front of that, they were, you know, out this way and out this way.
But going back to the queue though, you were still very spaced. I mean, you were a lot more than 6 feet, you know, before we entered the auditorium.
Yeah, we had our block to stand in, and it was like way far away. Yeah, it was way far away of the people beside us and behind us, and so all that was done marvelously. It was,
yeah. I mean, Universal seems to have everything pretty well worked out, you know, as far as with what's going on right now, to keep everybody safe.
Right.
You know,
and I even saw this, and Brandon was very impressed with this, and he said, "Gosh, I can't believe this." But he saw a team member walking around cleaning like a pole that was on the sidewalk. He was wiping down. He was going along the road and just wiping down anything anybody could touch. So,
with that said too, that kind of takes us to the rides. You know, once you get on the rides, or before you get on the rides, there's a team member with hand sanitizer. So you just stick your hand out, the team member puts the hand sanitizer in your hand, you rub it, you get on the ride, you know, you ride the ride, you get off, and then there is a hand sanitizer station after you get off the ride. Now, there's no team member, you know, doing the hand sanitizer once you get off the ride, but there is a station that you go and get your hand sanitizer. We kept small bottles of hand sanitizer on us, you know, just, you know, as a safeguard, because we like to use a little bit of extra, you know, so you may want to consider doing that too. I've got like a small bottle I just kept in my pocket, and every member of our party, you know, had one too, so, you know, it's a little extra precaution.
Yeah, and in the queues, they distance you out.
Yeah, your distance.
I never saw, I know there'd been complaints, but I never saw anyone.
Everyone was following the rules, when we were there, so the rides themselves you get on as a party. So if you're a party of 6 and there's available seating for 6 people, you all ride together, and then after that there's spaces left on the ride, so you're distanced, that way.
Right.
But all in all, I was very impressed with the way Universal is handling things. I mean, I felt safe. I really did not know what to expect. We wanted to get back to the parks to experience this, to share it with you guys. And
just because we missed the parks, too.
And too, we missed the parks very deeply. So, Universal, very good job.
Yeah. We can't wait to get back for the new coaster.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We did watch the new supposed coaster going up in the Jurassic Park area, and it looks amazing. Something very much to look forward to on your future trips to Universal.
Yeah.
But guys, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this video.
Yep. I hope it helped you a little bit to, so you'll know if you are planning to go back anytime soon.
Yeah, to help you make decisions whether to go back this soon, or maybe you want to wait a while.
We felt safe. I think they're doing a very good job.
Yeah, definitely. But that's about it. So be sure to like, subscribe,
comment, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah, and give us a big thumbs up on this video, please.
Yep. Oh, and if you forgot your mask, they got you covered.